Time for another summer check-in, and Dysin Mayo is checking in with us from Fort Saskatchewan in these final few weeks of the off season before hockey is back underway. Dyson, great to hear from you. How you been the last few months?
Good. It's been a busy summer for me and my family, so it's gone by quick, but we're gonna head back down to Henderson in just over a week and a half, so we're excited for that.
Dyson, we were talking during the off season. So many players take the opportunity to put their feet up, relax a little bit, and then after that, there's training. You're doing those things, but you've had some bigger projects on your hands in the meantime. You guys just finished a house, and you're buying a house, and now you're kind of refurbishing.
Yeah, we moved in and we had a few little projects to do. Being out in Fort Sask area, having a garden in the backyard is a big thing that we wanted to do. So we got that going this year, and then we didn't have an area for seating for a table, so we made ourselves a little breakfast nook and finally got our table in months later. So we get to enjoy it for about a week and a half before we leave.
Now, is that a strength of yours? I mean, not all guys are equally handy. Are you good with, you mentioned the breakfast nook. That's a bit of a project.
Yeah, it was a project. It took us a couple months to finally finish it. I mean, it's hard to do too when the kids are around. You have to kind of drop them off at the grandparents and get to work with it. But I wouldn't consider myself a particularly handy guy, but I was learning on the go. So we were proud of our work. My wife helped me out a lot too.
I've been doing a little bit of that myself, so I'm just curious. Are you and your wife on the same page with everything? You agree with all styles and curtains and wallpapers and everything else, or do you say yes, dear, and do what you're
I
told?
say yes. She picks all styles, and I just say yes. So it doesn't matter to me one way or the other.
Well, that's a big way to finish off the year. But it's been a long summer. I'm sure you did get a chance to relax a little bit, have some fun. What were you guys up to?
Yeah, so took a month or so off of ice and kind of just traveled. We went back to Victoria to see family and catch up there, and we actually went to Vancouver to meet up with Benson and his wife, and then a couple other trips. We went camping in the mountains for a week and out to Toronto for a wedding. So we were really busy this summer, but it was fun.
I always wonder for guys like yourself, you're 28 years old, you've got a couple of young kids. Your vacation in the summer probably a little different than some of the 20, 21 year olds. You mentioned camping. Do you like to do the family friendly activities? Are the vacations with the kids in mind?
Yeah, definitely. Everything's kind of centered around them. But we were fortunate enough this summer that we had my wife's mom living near us, so we just kind of dropped the kids off a couple of times and got away on our own, which was nice. It was kind of our first trip in a couple of years alone together, so that was a nice change from the kid family vacations.
Well, you mentioned you got to hang out with Tyler Benson a little bit with the Silver Knights last year. You got to see him over the summer, and Mason Gertson's in your neck of the woods too. So you actually got to spend a little bit of time with some teammates. Guys always talk about in their hometown, a group of guys come back and you skate together or what have you. But you actually had Silver Knights guys that you were able to see a little bit this summer.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Gertzy actually bought a place like 5 minute drive from me, so it was nice having him around, a familiar face, and we trained together during the off season, so that was good. And I mean, yeah, there's a few other local guys in the Edmonton area that I've seen around a couple of times, like Paperny and Hickey. So yeah, it's been good to see some familiar faces around.
Dyson, we'll talk some hockey too in just a bit, but while we're on the subject of the non-hockey, I'm just curious. Every off season, you got some time on your hands that you're not used to having, and I don't know if some guys do what I do. You try to add some other skill, whether you're reading more or to see if you can pick up a language. I don't know, whatever self betterment you can do outside of the gym and the rink. It sounds like you picked up a little bit of woodworking and around the house skills, but if you worked on anything else.
No, not necessarily. I haven't really had enough time to pick up anything else. I mean, I haven't really gardened in the past. That's something my wife did growing up, so that was kind of a new experience for me. But yeah, other than that, it's just kind of between that and the traveling, it's been too busy to pick up any other skills.
Well, I'm not challenging you for slacking off. Again, you've been a busy guy. But the last time that we saw you on your way out the door at the end of the season, you had just been named the Silver Knights award winner for the Man of the Year for charitable contributions, and I know that meant a lot to you. You talked about it at the time, but I got to think not only was it significant for you to be able to make an impact like that, but also was your first full season in Henderson. So in a new setting, a new town, you were able to jump in and make an impact right away.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's not really an award I ever had really considered before. I mean, I always kind of heard it get announced at the end of the year and never really thought about it too much. It's not something that I was actively trying to get, but I mean, just being nominated for it, it kind of made me think like, oh, this is something that I want to do more of. And to contribute. So yeah, I definitely want to look forward to doing more stuff for the community this year, especially being my second year now.
We always hear guys talk about the charitable side of what you guys do, being uh, community leaders, if you will. And players always talk about the importance of giving back and how they appreciate the opportunity. But I wonder also from a hockey standpoint, it's a long season and things, there's ups and downs and there's the physical grind. The charitable portion of your job has to be beneficial there too, just to give you uh, a different way of interacting with people, I would think.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely an aspect of it. I mean, not every day at the rink's a good day, and it's nice to kind of help out other people and see that you are making a difference, even if your day or week's not going great at the rink. Like you get to get away and help somebody else that's in need, and you get to put a smile on their face when maybe they're not smiling that much lately. So yeah, that's definitely an aspect of it.
Let's talk a little bit about the hockey, Dyson, because again, you're getting ready for what's going to be your ninth full professional season. And last year was the best offensive season you've ever had. Really consistent contribution, scoring wise. What did you tap into last season? And did you spend any time this summer trying to compound on that?
Yeah, I think I kind of found my confidence last season. I had a tough year the year before, and just coming in last season, I kind of just found my love for the game again. And I mean, the coaches in Henderson were so great about pushing us and allowing us to join offensively and not kind of worrying about making a mistake. They kind of let us play. So I think that was a big part of it. And I mean, just yeah, another year older and more experience, you kind of just have more confidence that way. So that helps as well.
Of course, yourself and others heading into NHL training camp, you go with the goal of playing the National Hockey League. But looking at all the additions to the organization this summer and where guys can shake out on the depth chart, whatever ends up in Henderson, looks like it's going to be a pretty veteran blue line or some veteran additions. Of course, you were part of that last season. Jake Bischoff is captain. Um, yes, there's young guys coming along, but it does feel like there's been some effort to get a little bit more seasoning in that lineup.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think last year was we had a good team, and injuries and call ups and whatnot. It kind of affected us big time, and you kind of saw that lack of depth, I guess you could say. So there's just always so much movement going on in the AHL. You never know what's going to happen. So it's good to have those extra bodies and then those extra older guys and depth available if you need it, and it should make us stronger and more internal competition as well, which is a good thing.
At this stage of the game for you, again, you're not an old guy by any means, but older, especially in the AHL roster line. You've played 8 pro seasons now. You're 28 years old. Is the off season, is it long to you? Is it short to you? You always hear guys chomping at the bit to get back into camp in September, and I wonder if as you get older, if that increases, decreases.
Yeah, I think it all depends on what your summer is. I've had some summers that are relatively as long as this one, and it feels long, and then other summers, if you keep busy, like I have this summer, it feels short. But I mean, but at the end of the day, you're always looking to get back into it, especially working out and skating kind of gets tiresome over the summer. It kind of gets repetitive, and it gets to be a bit of a grind. So you look forward to the season starting.
I'm sure you have a whole off-season routine on ice and off. Is there any area of your strength, your fitness that you've given particular emphasis to? And is there any part of the summer workout program that you've had enough of? You're ready to get back to regular practices?
Yeah, nothing too particular. I mean, I've just been trying to continue working on my offensive game and kind of having fun with it and trying new things out there so I can kind of continue to improve my offensive game. But other than that, yeah, I'm just kind of tired of working out, to be honest, and ready to get skating more and just playing games again.
You mentioned you've seen a couple of HSK guys this summer, but who have you predominantly been skating with?
Mostly Mason Gertson. We'll travel into the city together. We'll drive carpool there, and we have a good group of pro guys that we skate with. So yeah, that's mostly who I've been skating with.
Looking ahead to this coming season, obviously, again, the last 2 seasons for the Silver Knights haven't ended the way that they wanted to, but what are some of the things you guys can focus on, tap into to, with the people that are going to be in that Henderson fold,
Yeah,
that can improve the results a bit?
yeah, for sure. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, I think we had a good enough team to make the playoffs last year on paper, and just the results weren't there, and we had a lot of different circumstances come up with injuries and call-ups, but I mean, at the end of the day, you need to battle through those and give yourselves a chance at the end of the year. And we weren't able to do that. So I think that's a big focus, especially for the older guys coming into this year, just to kind of lead the way and set the tone. And I think a lot of the additions they made in this offseason should make the internal competition better and hopefully force us to be a better team.
When you get back to Vegas, what are you and the family most eager to do? What do you miss when you're away?
Well, it's gonna be hot down there, so it'll be a tough with the kids for the first month or so. But I think we're just looking mostly forward to moving in. We already have our place down there all set up, so it's gonna be nice to just walk in the door and have everything there mostly. So we don't usually get that luxury.
Well, just to put your mind at ease, we're dipping back down into the 90s a little bit. So, have the quarter zips ready.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to hockey being back underway again and having you back in Vegas. Dyson, enjoy the rest of your summer. Good luck on the final preparations for the new house, and we'll see you real soon.
Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to being back.